British DJs, an American voiceover. It's the Harley and Josh Show.
Well, welcome to this special edition of the Harley and Josh Show. Currently, we are sitting in my van in the Cobblestone High School car park.
It sounds very suspicious, doesn't
it? We look very suspicious as well because we just I don't know what they must think of us.
Well, we are here at the Rock Project. That's what's going on this Wednesday because we're both on holiday currently. As you're hearing this, we are on holiday.
Yeah, we are. I am in Paris, and you will be. Did you find out where you're going to be yet?
Hanya.
Is that another word for saying I don't know?
Yeah, it's Greek for I don't know.
Jeez.
No, it's somewhere in Greece. It's on the island of Crete, and apparently it's very nice.
Okay, good. Oh, that'd be nice. Well, but at the moment he's telling you it's very nice because he's there right now.
Well, I will be on my way there.
Oh, you'll be on your way there on Monday. Okay, well, I will actually be in Paris, so I've got one up on you there, Harley.
Damn it!
Ha! This whole competition is getting won by me. I don't know what the competition is. No idea. No. But yeah, okay, so our special edition today, we would like to bring you stories of our youth. We're the worst musicians in the world. But we want to tell you how we got to be the worst musicians in the world.
Yes. How did we start? Go on. How about you go first? Tell us, when did you first have your first lesson?
Christ. It must have been in St. Joe's Catholic school in Ipswich. When I was there, I learned to play the recorder when I was probably about 6 or 7, and then went on to clarinet, and then went on to saxophone, and moved schools back to Trinity St. Mary. Continued having lessons then. Went on to I was doing cornet, a couple of violin lessons. But then guitar came about because of Mark Stewart of Homebrew and Super Things, and just of being a great guitarist that everybody wants to work with. I was between 10 and 11. I cannot remember the date of my first guitar lesson. But yeah, from then on, I was like, all these other instruments can bite the dust. It's because I'd had that air guitar album. Remember the compilations?
Yes, yeah, I think I had them all.
Yeah, I think I did. It was 3 of them, weren't there?
Yeah.
No, I had 1 and 3, and Murray had 2, and I was well jealous because we used to sit around on his Technics Hi-Fi and just listen to that album. Nice. But yeah, so we ended up I get all those instruments just blown away because Jimi Hendrix was on that album and Chuck Berry. Yeah. And I was like, well, that's me then. I want to be those people. They're great. They're super cool.
Nice.
And yeah, first band would have been when I was 12. But anyway, what about your first introduction?
That's cool. Well,
I asked you this question a little while back. I said, who gave you the bug?
Yes. And I don't remember a particular person, or it was, for me, I was always into music. And there were some friends who lived up the road from me when I lived in Chessington who they'd always feed me new music. Mm-hmm. They'd come back, oh, have you heard about this band? Really cool band called Papa Roach. And we'd be like, awesome, and be well into that, you know. But at this time, I was loving the music, but I never had the intentions to become a musician until my last year of primary school in Felixstowe. And first day of school, a letter came around saying, would you like to learn guitar? And I went, oh, I didn't realise that's a thing you could learn. I thought that's a thing that only adults did. So that sort of, that door was blown wide open. And we had sort of acoustic guitar lesson for a year with a guy called Kev.
Gerald. No, sorry.
I've got him on Facebook. We chat every now and then.
Okay.
Guy called Kevin.
Right.
And
well, let's just say Kevin Smith of Clerks.
Yes, yeah, I was taught by Silent Bob.
Good. How did that work?
Ironic lesson to be taught how to make
no
noise
words
by Silent Bob.
Great.
He'd say one line per lesson, and it was hilarious.
Great, yeah. Just knock you off your feet.
No ticket.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think I know who you mean. Did he used to play with Lightbody?
Yes, he did.
Yes, he
Well, still
did.
does.
He still does, because they've had a bit of a resurgence in that. And again,
Yeah.
that was a big watershed moment for me. Was going to see Lightbody at the Hand in Hand, and I must have been 2001, 2002. I was there with my dad.
Yeah.
And just absolutely loved it. It was absolutely great. And I think watching Kevin play and watching Nick Lightbody play would have been just a big mind blow for me. Just thinking like, that's people. I'm watching people do that with their hands now. Not just through a record.
That's awesome to sort of see it live for the first time. I remember the first band I saw live. I got close enough to see them playing the instruments, and I must have been 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And I remember this band playing All Right Now, and I was like, "Oh, is this the band that played that song?" And Dad was like, "No, it's a covered band." I was like,
I don't get it.
I couldn't understand that concept. But they were a really good band.
What do you mean that's not Paul Rogers in Trimley?
Exactly, yeah.
Why wouldn't he be?
And but yeah, so I had lessons with Kev Smith for a year, and then left primary school, as you do at the end of primary school age.
Good.
Yeah.
You didn't just stay there
Didn't
in a
just hang
cupboard.
around. No, and
I did.
for
They called me cupboard guy.
when I sort of left school, we went to Kevin Smith and said, "Where do we go?"
Kevin Butcher.
Kevin Butcher. There we go.
Kevin Butcher. Thank you, Facebook.
Thank you.
Thank you, Facebook. Yeah, no, great guitarist. He taught me when I was in Northgate at sixth form as well.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, because he was the sort of the resident guitar tutor there.
Yeah.
And in between media lessons, between media and art lessons, which I paid attention to neither of them, and I didn't care because I was, my hair was down to my hips, and I had a leather jacket with a Motorhead on the back, with a swear word on it, and a Confederate flag in my hair. I was never into the Confederacy. It was just because Pantera had a lot of Confederate flags over stuff. But yeah, he really did help me just to understand chords. Mark was fantastic for helping me to figure out songs by ear.
Yeah.
From a young age, and Kevin was great for showing me chords.
As I say, speaking of Mark Stewart, when I finished primary school, Kevin said, Mark Stewart lives locally to me. He only lived around the corner at the time, and said, "He's your man for Felix Stowe."
Yeah, because it was Gulf Road, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Gulf Road, and that's because right opposite you.
Literally just up the road.
Just over the road. Same place that I used to go as well.
Yeah, and we used to, and I had lessons.
So Maidstone Road is where Orwell was on, which is and which is just around the corner from where Harley lives. This is for the listener right now.
Yes.
And Maidstone Road is just opposite Gulf Road as well, and where Mark Stewart used to teach. Now he is on Beach Road, I believe. Bath Road, that's it.
Yeah, Bath
Well, near the Harvest House.
Yes.
And it's still teaching, and I went there a little while back to pick up some strings, and still sells guitars as well. And I bought a bunch of my first guitars I bought my first guitar. It was a PV Raptor.
Oh yeah.
It was a Strat. It was a Tabasco Sunburst. It was a spicy guitar.
Spicy guitar.
Some Spazzacilla Tabasco. But yeah, and I saw a picture of it today because for this show I've been delving into my past, in which I'd locked away. Thanks, Harley, for getting all these repressed memories back.
Oh yes.
And just seeing pictures of me on stage from when I must have been 13 or 14.
You'll have to put some of those on the Facebook.
Yeah, I think
I'll
will
find
do.
some.
I'm going to get one up on my screen right now just to show Harley, so you guys can hear his reaction. But
I think I know which picture this is. I really hope it is the one, because I've seen a few of them through the days.
Yeah, no, this one, I don't know. Just that's the guitar right there.
Oh,
and you can flick through some of those pictures if you feel like it.
That's old school.
And that's my big brother.
Oh,
my
cool.
big brother,
Wow, yeah.
right, playing a Westerfield. And yeah, the Westerfield. Mark used to play stock quite a few Westerfields. I had a Westerfield Les Paul from there, and I also got a BC Rich Warlock from him, which was just. I hope I find some pictures of that. And also an Epiphone Gothic Flying V, which you can see in the background there.
Yeah.
Which just,
I remember you having that.
Yeah, and
I
it was just I don't know. We did not have a look. I swear. It's just the early 2000s. You got baggy jeans, you got a baggy t-shirt, On that one is Gibson. There's another one that's just with the AC/DC t-shirt. I had a Hoax hoodie, right? And this horrified me. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it at some point here, but I used to sew patches onto my Hoax hoodie. And look at that patch right there.
Wow.
It was a dead Kennedy's patch, right? I hope this never gets released to the public if anything happens, because it is a swastika, but made out of guitar headstocks. And I must have thought that was really cool. And I remember people coming up to me going, "Are you a Nazi?" And I'm like, "No, I just like dead Kennedys."
Well, there's no argument.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if I'll try and zoom in on it, but yeah, you can see. That's right next to a Velvet Revolver patch.
That's a swastika.
But also an Indian peace symbol.
Yes.
Either way, the Nazis did steal that, and that's one of the worst thieveries I've ever seen of copyright infringement.
And all the gold.
Yeah, all the Nazi gold. Anyway, right. So your first guitar, what was yours?
My first guitar. Well, I started with an Encore Strat copy.
What was it? Tabasco Sunburst?
Nah, just a plain back.
Right, yeah.
It was a Clapton style.
Yeah. Lovely, yeah.
But I remember the first guitar that I bought.
That you loved.
That I bought with my own money was from Mark Stewart.
Oh, right.
And it was the Samick by Greg Bennett guitar.
Oh god, yeah.
I could tell you the model, but it's a sort of a PRS style, flat top, hardtail.
Cool.
Really love that guitar.
Murray had a Samick bass.
I did see the headstock in that picture.
Yeah, that was his first bass. And had a sticker on it saying "Smell Your Mum." Do you remember "Smell Your Mum"?
Smell Your Mum, yeah.
And "Eat a Townie."
Yep.
Everybody had those stickers.
Oh, Townie.
And I remember that the website you had to get it off, and I swear it was. Was it smellyourmum.com?
I think that was the.
I wonder if that's still a thing. I'm going to try and find that now. Anyway, I interrupted you. You were talking.
For anyone who wonders what a Townie is, that is the pre-seed to the Chav.
Yeah, when we were Grebos.
Yeah, there were grungers and Grebos and Townies.
Yeah.
But now it's just goths and chavs.
Yeah, smellyourmum.com is still there.
Still going.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh my
Get
god.
your stickers.
I might have to. I have the patience of a saint. No, I'm not going to read that out. It's Saint beep 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 beep. Okay. Wow, crikey! I need to get some of these stickers again. I had one sewed into my guitar strap, and on that guitar strap also had a bike bell and a bunch of badges, the AC/DC and everything like this.
The thing is, all of this stuff that I remember because we used to go to a lot of the same gigs.
Yeah.
You know, I remember seeing you play a couple of times. One was there was a rock night in the hall next to a high school that doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
The hall still exists, but a high school doesn't.
No, that's gone.
And
it was eaten.
Yeah, and that was when you were playing
Space Beast
with Ollie Milton. I think was he on bass?
Yeah, he would have been on bass. Yeah, and it would have, I'm not sure. If you would have seen us with the girl singer, that was Rosie Bolton, who was one of my childhood friends, and Stephen Jones.
That's it.
On drums. But Rosie Bolton and Stephen Jones were in a relationship, and you know how that ends up.
Badly.
Yeah, badly. And of course, she's my childhood friend, and so when you're a teenager, that's a problem. You're sitting there going, "Oh my god, what am I gonna do? Oh my god!" So that stopped, and then I took over vocals, which is terrifying.
And that's where it all started.
That's where everything went wrong for everybody.
Do you have any recordings of your first band?
I don't. With me, I've lost a lot of stuff and a lot of moves. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to hunt some down. I think I might ask Stephen Jones. He might have some.
Must do.
When we were called May Offend. 696. All right. Well, you want to do a segment here?
Well, I want to do a segment here.
It's Band Name Caller with Harley and Josh.
Because, especially with our band, the thing with our bands, I'm sure a lot of teenage bands have the same thing of changing the name every few months.
Yeah.
I never, for some reason, my bands never did that.
No? Oh, nice.
No, we were Tripwire from start to finish.
Nice. Well, Destiny Awaits.
And Destiny Awaits, we were always Destiny Awaits.
We used to call you Destiny's Children.
Yeah. We were.
Literal children.
I was the oldest one in the band, and I was like 13.
And the tallest as well.
No, Ben was the tallest. Remember Ben Shepherd, the bass player?
Ish.
He was like 6 foot when he was 12.
Oh, good lord.
He was, and...
I was thinking of Ben Yelverton just then, not Ben Shepherd.
Oh, yeah.
He was in a band with me, Sacred Addiction.
Sacred Addiction,
Yeah, back in the day we used to do Bullet for My Valentine.
I wonder if they're on MySpace.
Oh Lord.
in like preview to this whole thing, I've been trying to find some of our old bands on MySpace, and there's a band that I really was into, fronted by Alex Body,
Oh my goodness.
who now plays with
The Saucerful of
Habu.
Floyd. Oh, Habu.
yeah,
Yeah.
Habu.
He's still doing Saucerful of Floyd, right?
Still does Saucerful of
Yeah,
Floyd with Alex Dunbar,
Nice.
also Habu. But his first band was Murphys,
I remember them.
which was Pete O'Reilly on guitar,
Oh my
who
God.
is now an incredible drummer.
Yeah.
Really cool and just a mad
He's a good
person.
producer as well, isn't he?
I have not heard much of his production
pretty
stuff,
soon,
but and it was also with Marley Jones on drums. But
Right.
didn't know at the time, but I met him later on because he was good friends with Spencer Horton from the Space Rocks.
Right.
And they were good pals back when. And I more recently realised that he was on drums, looking back at photos from
Wow.
the gig that I
You're
went
like,
to
oh my God. Yeah.
at Licks Bar.
Licks. What happened to Licks?
Oh, it's falling apart. I went
Yeah.
past it today. It's
I know, but why
sorry.
did it close down in the first place?
The ceiling was falling through, and they couldn't afford to fix it, and no
Oh.
one else wanted to buy it and repair
So
it.
sad, isn't it? I look at it all the time and I was like, if I was a millionaire, I would buy that place and it would be great.
Would be.
Or, well, for a week, and then I'd be like, oh God, I've got to do taxes. And I've got to think about restocking bars and all.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a lot.
Are you looking on MySpace right
I'm looking
now?
on MySpace.
Oh my God.
MySpace still exists. Again, for some people who don't know, MySpace used to be a.
I can't believe we're
website.
saying this.
I feel we need to tell people.
Wow. Oh God, that's the thing. Like, in about 5 years' time, I think, MySpace will be classed as vintage. Right?
People will go back to it because it's retro.
Oh my God, yeah, it's like going back to the tape, going back to mixtapes. But yeah, no, MySpace. I had all my music up on there. I had my own personal profile, which was pink, and it was a Queen theme because you used to be able to download. You used to copy and paste out HTML layouts on it, can you? And I did one for the band as well. And then they changed they kept changing the layouts, and then you couldn't do it. So just that
That's what
messed
killed
me about.
MySpace, I think.
Yeah,
Is that
you couldn't change the things. It was the same with Vampire Freaks.
I never hit Vampire Freaks. No, that was never.
No, that was Vampire Freaks was incredible because it's just having the same thing where you could have HTML change how the profile looked and put all pictures of you standing in a graveyard and looking real cool.
Looking like
I was
a real
called
vampire.
Turtle_guy. If that website's still there, I might have to check and see if my profile's still up there.
That says a lot about you and your. What was a turtle thing?
The Turtle Guy. You ever seen Master of Disguise? The Dana Carvey film. The Dana Carvey from Wayne's World.
Right.
Garth from Wayne's World.
Yeah.
And from Saturday Night Live. He had a kids' film. I think I must have watched when I was about 13, 14. And it was one of the most hilarious things ever. It was about the same time that Kung Pao came out. And it's so just ridiculous humour. Kind of got that Naked Gun kind of,
That
like
stupid-
airplane sort of
Yeah.
thing. But it was kind of early 2000s, and there was a guy and a character in it just called Turtle Guy. Turtle. Oh, I'm a turtle. I'll bite your nose off. But he was because he was a master of disguise. He had a bald head and a big turtle outfit and glasses. Oh, it's just the weirdest thing. Oh wow. Memories. Sorry.
Links to Josh's Vampire Freaks page will be in the description below.
Oh, I really hope not. I really hope not. Oh god.
I really hope so.
Oh god, right. So you had a mouse-proof profile for Destiny Awaits.
Yeah, for Destiny Awaits, for my other band Tripwire.
Speaking of Tripwire,
and
do
I
you
have
ever
one for
remember a
myself.
band called Trippin Violet?
Yes.
Trippin Violet were incredible. The first time I ever saw somebody with dreads was
Yeah.
Trippin Violet, and we got to play with them. And I must have been 15, something like that, and they were great. They had this kind of corn meets ska vibe about them. I don't know.
There was a band maybe I'm thinking of that. Can you remember Cosmic Carrot,
I remember the name.
which was I think Jim Youngs played with them. Remember Jim Youngs?
Yeah. Bass
I
player
think
from
he
Smack
played
Joint.
with them, or
And Jim Youngs was in one of the first permutations of one of my old bands,
Yeah.
which was 00666, which was actually the first band that I actually ever had, was
Wow.
00666. And Jim Youngs played the bass for about a week and then realised that we were totally not cool. And then left. It was just like, no, I'm in other bands. I'm good.
He's always been in lots of bands, hasn't he? Well, he always was. I don't.
Yeah, he's in Norwich now.
Is he Norwich?
He's in Norwich, yeah.
Okay.
Last thing I heard, he was working at the Reindeer. Great pub. Gig there. Lovely.
Really? Nice.
Proper crafty ale place.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
Check
it's
that
proper
out.
knees up place. But yeah, right. So, what was your first gig? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was Destiny Waits. Actually, my first gig, not with a band as such, was actually a jam session.
All right.
I don't know if you went to the Trinity Sports and Social Club last Sunday of the month.
Never used to do that.
They used to have a blues night that was run by Richard Everett.
Oh wow.
And Nicky Horton.
No way. Was his hair still white?
Oh yeah, he's not changed.
No way.
I'm pretty sure he looks the same now as he did
That's
20
great.
years ago.
He's the real he's the Keith Richards of Ipswich.
Oh, he is totally. and I went along. I used to go along and watch and stuff like that. And one day I went, I'd like to play Johnny Be Good.
Nice.
It's a blues jam, and I went, oh, can we play Johnny Be Good? And they went, yeah, sure. And I went up and played. I believe. Oh, did that come through the mic?
That was my neck. Yeah, sorry about that.
That sounds great. I'm into that.
Yeah.
Don't put me off my stride.
Sorry, you're having a great stride. I love your legs.
So I went there. Stride all over my leggy.
You strode on stage,
I strode on stage.
guitar in hand.
Yeah. However, Rob Castellani
Oh wow.
was there. I don't know if he was house guitarist, either him or Ben Frankis. They were always there. But whether they were playing in the house band or there, I don't
Frankis
know.
as well. So this would have been what year?
I would have been 12. So I must have been 2004.
2004.
Yeah.
So Ben Frankis is my age, so
Yeah.
he would have been 14.
Yeah.
Mental.
14, 15.
Yeah.
And I think
Rob Castellani's probably got the same.
I think
same
say
age?
maybe a little bit older.
Maybe a bit older.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and he lent me his guitar. He had a
Wow.
PV Wolfgang, and he's still got it
Oh
today.
great, yeah, that was the Eddie Van Halen
Yeah,
signature that he kind of designed.
he designed.
I
yeah.
wanted one of those, yeah.
I really wanted one, and it was. I keep telling him never sell that guitar. However, if he does, sell it to me.
Yeah, yeah.
I did see one
Still
come
got it,
up
huh?
on Facebook, but I'm tempted by it.
Yeah.
They're one of my favourite guitars.
So you played that
I
guitar
played that guitar on my
for the
first
first
gig,
gig. Wow.
and I absolutely loved it. But I played Johnny Be Good with a load of really good musicians.
Yeah.
You know who, I don't know how good they were really, but they were leagues
know.
ahead of me, which
Yeah.
spurred me on to.
To your
playing
memory,
better.
they were, Yngwie Malmsteen.
Oh, yeah,
they were
yeah.
Nick Peart, Neil Peart, sorry. And but just keep hold of that. Keep hold of that.
Totally. And
That's the problem. I listen back to our old recordings, and I remember being like, "Oh, my solo, I did a good job then." And I listen back now, and I'm like, "Oh God, I shouldn't have listened back because I didn't do a good job." But it's I think keep hold of just your idols from when you're a kid, because you'll look back into it and you'll sit there and think, "Oh God, maybe they weren't as good at this," and blah 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 blah. But it's not about how good they were. It's the idea of wanting to be as good as that person, right?
yeah, that's
Or
it.
better.
Yeah, totally. I was like, well, where was your first gig then?
Mine, I think you saw, which was it was an assembly,
In the Octagon Hall,
the Octagon Hall, which was a music hall right next to the music block in Orwell High School.
which doesn't exist anymore.
No, exactly, all destroyed. Oh my God, Louis C.K. just came out of the building. Sorry. Of course, but maybe. No. Oh my God, he looks really like Louis C.K. Anyway, so that would have been the assembly, and I played with Mr. Meadows, my English teacher and form tutor at the time. We played Hey Joe with Mr. Meadows, and then I played Smells Like Teen Spirit, and I sang by myself. And all the year 7s, I think at that time I must have been like year 9. I
Yeah,
think you
so
would
I
have been
was
year 7. And all the year 7s apart from you would always go past me in the halls going, "Hello, hello, hello, hello." And I'm like, gosh, you don't get it, man. You don't get me, man.
You weren't there,
You
nor
weren't
neither
there,
was
man.
I.
Exactly. But yeah, so you remember that?
I remember that very well. Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's just scarred you for life. You're like, oh my God, no.
I remember I wasn't into Hendrix, or hadn't discovered Hendrix at the time, let's
Right.
say. So I remember going to Mark Stewart and going, I want to learn this song and I don't know it.
Yeah.
But I'd worked out that it's a C chord, a G chord.
Nice.
and
You
an A.
worked it out. Sweet.
And he went, I think that's Hey Joe. And I was like, that sounds about right. What
Yeah.
Mr. Meadows was singing.
Yeah. Well, and Mark Stewart taught me that song. That's why. Right, it's all goes
probably
full
had it
circle.
fresh in his mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He taught me that song, and I'd been practicing it, and Mr. Meadows came across me practicing it. Said, "I'd love to sing that with you." So crazy thing how it's all interlinked, right?
Totally.
Twist.
Yeah. So many twists, man.
Oh my god, so many twists. When you think of old gigs,
Yeah.
right? Think of one that sticks out. The first one that comes to your mind.
I can't, because they all blurred into one.
Right.
Because we were putting
The
gigs
one
on.
you went to see.
I just remember the venues, particularly the British Legion, the hall.
The Sands. Remember Sands Bar?
I never went to the
Still
Sands
there.
Bar.
Right, yeah.
Because I don't know if
Played there with Wild Blue, New Mexico on New Year's Eve. It must have been 2006.
Yeah.
And we got shut down by the police because it was all just underage drinking.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. We used to put on our own gig quite a lot at like community halls and like sort of like function rooms and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know how a bunch of 14 or 15-year-old kids could go into a place and go, "Here's £100. Can we book that hall for the night?"
Yeah.
And then you make your
They
money
go,
back.
off you go.
Yeah, we'd make our money back from ticket sales.
Yeah.
Usually the band would get 10, 15 quid
Yeah.
each, you know.
Yeah. Or
You
just,
wouldn't-
or some
between.
Frosty Jacks.
That's it. And it's amazing that we were allowed to
We were
do
trusted.
that. And
Do you think that would work nowadays?
no, not at all.
No. Do you think it still happens though?
I don't think it does. I don't think kids have the license or the freedom as much to do that. I don't want to say they don't maybe not have the initiative, but to be honest, when I was that age, I wouldn't have thought I could get away with hiring out a hall and stuff like
and
that.
trashing
It was just that somebody else within our circles went, "Why can't we do that?"
Yeah.
And we went, "Yeah, all right, let's do that."
Yeah, that's it. That's it. It was Trimley Memorial Hall.
Yes.
The Welcome Hall.
British Legion.
British Legion. What was the one in Walton? Right next to the Falcon.
Yes, it was Walton. I think it's Bolton Community Hall.
Walton, yeah, I can't remember what it was
Yeah.
called.
There weren't too many gigs that went on there, but there was a couple.
What was the? Oh, right next to the docks near Landguard Fort. Do you remember? That's where
Yes,
Wild Blue used to put
the
on a lot
old
of
Dock
gigs.
Club.
Is that actually the Dock Club?
That was the Dock Club, even though everyone calls it Trimley Sports and Social Club the Dock Club. But then we also put gigs on at Trimley Sports and Social
Club, yeah.
when the stage was in the other corner.
Yep.
I specifically remember you being there. I think it was probably the first time I saw Murray play
Oh, really? Yeah.
with his Thunderbird bass.
Nice.
And you did Welcome to Paradise. And I remember
Wow,
thinking,
Green Day.
damn it, I love Green Day. I wanted to do a well-known Green Day song.
Yeah.
Everyone else did Basket Case.
It's because of that bass line.
Yeah, and I was like, this is actually a really good song. But now you do it, so we can't do it because we
I know.
always play the same gigs
I had
anyway.
that with Arctic Monkeys and Fake Tales of San Francisco.
Oh, yes.
That was one we put in the set, and Wild Blue were like, we want to do that one. So we both just ended up putting in our own set.
But Wild Blue Blue, no, it wasn't. They didn't play it, but with Tripwire, we used to do another Arctic Monkey because it was that kind of era, wasn't it? That we used to do a lot of these.
Yeah,
gigs.
yeah, definitely.
We
The
did,
Killers, Franz Ferdinand.
The Romance.
What Arctic Monkey
Yeah.
song? Oh yeah, no, I can't remember. I can't remember.
I don't want to call it. I keep going to say Bad Romance, but anyway, it's so quite funny because we always
Go on,
learnt
yeah,
it.
search it.
I'm gonna
I
find
know
this
this.
out
Yeah,
'cause,
yeah. But it's just crazy. I mean, like, if you're listening to this and you are much younger than us, and you listen to the original Arctic Monkeys albums, you listen to the albums now. I mean, the change is completely different. It's so different now.
So different.
But I mean, it inspired a lot of kids. You know, that was sort of during the LimeWire boom, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I remember there was so
Deezer.
many times I downloaded songs.
Right.
Not aware that
Bear share
not aware that a lot of this
was
was illegal.
completely illegal. Yeah. We're just like, it's just peer to peer. You know, it's file sharing. You know, we're just sharing. We're not actually stealing.
But
we unbeknownst to us, we were part of a huge revolution that would help destroy the record
music industry that we were trying to build.
Yeah, but we didn't even know.
A Certain Romance.
A Certain Romance.
Now we learned this with Tripwire, and every time we did it, because we mentioned Milton, Ollie Milton was at every gig, because if he weren't playing, he was supporting, he was a real fan of music, and it's just pure.
The same with you. You were doing the same thing,
Yeah.
and I think we all kind of had that feeling of just like, okay, there was competition because we were teenage kids.
Yeah.
But it was that kind of competition where you would still turn up and support your scene, and also try and find a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was-
just
that was
literally
a big
just
part
there because you're like, oh my god, I've got so many hormones. Please, God, let the music move someone towards me.
of it. And the cut.
No.
Damn it. Okay. But part of the certain romance. Ollie was at every gig, so even though we practiced it as a band, I slaved over learning those words. As soon as he would jump up on
my
stage,
God,
grab
yeah.
the mic, and know the words off by
Yeah.
heart.
Same as Marty Bum. Used to
Yes.
do Marty Bum.
Yeah, I'm
Hoff.
pretty sure
Ollie
between us
Hoff
we
used
did
to
the
do that a lot.
entire album.
God, Ollie Hoff was a force to be reckoned with on stage.
Oh man, that guy. He was a.
He's
bit of a
alive, by
legend.
the way. Just everybody listening, he's alive and he's still a great guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's not performing anymore, which
That
makes
is
me
that
sad.
is a real loss.
Yeah, he's dead.
He's dead.
You're dead to me, Hoff. Never.
Please don't go. I love you.
So much. Never die. So that was incredible. So another one of the bands was Sacred Addiction, and that was Pete Stevens,
Oh,
Dan
yes.
Goods, Rob Barlow was there for a while, and Ben Yelverton, and James Symes. Oh God, I'm gonna.
Jacobs, Simon Jacobs.
No, but he used to turn up to practices and things like this. We used to hang out with him. I'm gonna remember his name, and I'm gonna feel really bad about this. But yeah, anyway, but that was all. Yeah, like Bullet for My Valentine and all that sort of stuff. And but yeah, I'm trying to remember bands that we used to play with. Gross Affray.
Yeah.
Gross Affray. We talked about them last week, and they're still
They're
gigging.
no longer going, but I think
Stone
another band
members.
has formed from
the
members.
fires and the embers and the ashes and the Phoenix person. Yeah. So then also Anechoic Reflection. Do you remember them?
Yes.
They were super tech, from what I remember. Again, I remember them being so amazing, like musically incredible. They used to do sort of Lamb of God style thing in the middle of a school hall, you know.
What you're reminding me of actually is a particular thing that I noticed growing up with this kind of scene, is that there was a change in scene in the years that we were sort of playing.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of when in the earlier years there was a lot of that sort of indie sort of Arctic Monkeys-esque bit sort of thrashy punky kind of stuff. And then it transformed, and I think Without Reason or Sacred Addiction, I can't remember which one came first.
I think Sacred Addiction came in first.
And I think when that, I remember seeing you guys play for the first time and going, oh, this is heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And the metal kind of scene, although we were all listening to that kind of music, there weren't those bands.
Playing
and,
it.
and then all of a sudden you had, Without Reason, Sacred Addiction, Valian.
Yes, Valian.
Rob Barlow
Yeah,
with those who played in Chasing Cadence.
Yep. They've only just sort of
they've
broken up now.
They've just broken up, which is really sad. They were doing really well.
Yeah.
Rob worked so hard for that band, and a real nice guy.
But there's a lot of those. I mean, like right now, R.I.P. to all the bands that we grew up with. You know, the ones that just didn't make it far enough for them to just, to be able to live off it. You know, it was my cousin's band that I was telling you about earlier before we were on air. Mohair, and I absolutely adored them. I was at my 18th birthday. They played their last show, which would have been the 29th of September 2008, and yeah, crazy, right? And that would have been the Horns in St Albans, I believe.
My cousin used to work behind the bar there.
Really? Yeah. No way. He
both
could have been there.
He most probably was.
He could have been
My
there.
cousin Mike. I'll have to ask him.
There we go. Everything's connected, man. Twists and turns.
One of my favourite stories about my cousin is he was in like Bulgaria or something.
Right.
And
Anything go up his anus?
no, it could have done, but it didn't because of me.
Yay!
So
And let's find out.
he was chatting with this girl, and they were getting on.
Right.
The story I've heard.
Ooh,
Is they were
getting on, boy.
quite well. And
Oh,
she,
whatever.
he goes, oh, where are you from? She goes, oh, I'm from Felixstowe. He goes, oh, really?
What? Yeah.
You might know my cousin. She was like, oh, really? Who's that? And he's like, Harley Cotton. Her face dropped. Me and this girl didn't get along too well in high school, and I kind of I think that closest chances of meeting a
That's
lovely
why
girl.
nothing went up his anus.
And so that is the longest distance cock block I could ever do.
That's great. It's like you're sitting there in a completely different part of the country and you just sort of feel a twinge and you go, I've blocked someone. I can feel it happening. Like, right, let's move on a couple years, shall we?
Let's. Okay.
To college.
Oh yes. So we there was a year where we were no longer acquainted because you started college.
Yep.
A year
But
before me.
I started late because I was, like I said, I was in Northgate and I was then studying music with Kevin Butcher and with Richard Healy, who was my music teacher.
Okay.
Fantastic pianist. But I just didn't get on there. I was a bit too wild for a normal school, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I went to college, Suffolk New College. So a year later. So you would have caught up.
Yes.
Almost. And then
Closing the gap.
in terms, exactly. I like your gap. And then it sort of, so I would have been there for a year, and then you came in. So who was in your course that you still hang out with?
That I still hang out with is Raina Vandel.
Vaina Randell, yeah.
Vaina Randell, or Rebecca Vandel.
Right, great.
To use his real name.
Good.
So me and him.
Shayna.
Yeah, me and him. We went to college together. Towards the end of college, we started a band called Flicker.
Yeah.
Which went, I think, for a couple of years after college.
Where did you guys mainly gig? Was it the Blue Room at McGinty's?
We did one gig there.
Yeah.
Most of our gigs were down.
So what's that called now? Is it the Loft?
I've no idea what it's changed its name to.
Yeah, carrying on. So it's above the Teapot Project.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I haven't been to McGinty's for a long time.
But okay. So you got Raina.
Yep. Ben Diffley.
Yeah,
So
all
of
Diffles.
course, you know Ben Diffley. Incredible drummer.
Lovely old Diffles.
Lovely old drummer. And those are the sort of main people I really hang around with nowadays.
Sarah Whitby was in your year,
Sarah
wasn't she?
Whitby, plays in Talk of the Town.
Yep.
She was in my year. And that was, great.
I had Barnes Courtney in my year.
Woo!
Barnes Courtney. At the time was Sleepercell, who was with Kyle Orton and Matt Folks. Matt Folks, I literally just played his wedding a couple of weeks back. I think I told you about this because
Yes,
that was my
you did.
drummer. Ashley from Stratosfire was there from Australia, and they used to be in a band called Omnislash as well. I believe that's a Final Fantasy reference, but I've never played Final Fantasy, so don't shoot me, please, if you listen to this. So
Is
that was
the one with Link in?
no. I think you're thinking of Metroid.
That's it.
Yeah. Super Mario Metroid.
Super Mario Metroid.
Yeah,
Remember it
cool.
well.
But yeah, right.
The
So
little blue hedgehog.
there was some great bands. Kyron Richardson Todd
Of course.
was there, and he was in Underline the Sky.
Yes, who we played recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also from the formations of that class, Dave Housden, James Moss, and Matt Hurrell formed Affray Untold. And I remember being there. I was, oh my god, I forgot I was on their first ever recording as I was
Really?
screaming because I'd done Sacred Addiction.
Of course.
I cannot remember what the song was called, but they were completely different. It was that they started off, Affray Untold started off sounding a bit like Killswitch Engage, and then they turned into a band that sounded more like The Story So Far, Wonder Years, Newfound Glory.
Yeah,
Like, it definitely
that
went
kind of sort of pop punk. Sort
exactly Sticks
modern.
and Stones.
Yeah.
But so I absolutely adored them. I was a bit of a super fan, and I was going to all their gigs. And it was again that same thing that we had. There was the bands that we were all in were kind of in competition with each other,
Yeah.
but we all still went to each other's gigs
Totally,
at the
yeah.
Steamboat, at McGinty's. I used to play at the Swan back when there was a man called Sam. I cannot remember his surname.
There's a band name.
There we go. Man called Sam, like guy called Gerald. And he, we must have been 16. I was gigging there, and underage. Shouldn't have been, right? Yeah.
Of course.
But I remember it was really weird because Ollie Hoff from Marlborough, New Mexico, came along, and we used to sing together sometimes.
Yeah.
And I remember he came along, and we were doing, I think it was a Franz Ferdinand track or something, or a Killers track, because I think we used to do Jenny Was a Friend of Mine.
Right.
And then after we finished playing, there was a poet on, and I will never forget him. I can not remember his name, but I can never forget him. Because
Someone you can never remember yet never forget.
because he had a poem
poetic.
called exactly, wow. Because he had this whole thing where he had a puppet on his hand. It was a badger, and he would be doing this rhyming stanza. We were going through this story, and at the end of every kind of thing, he would go, "'Cause he's an angry badger." And everybody had to go, and you'd have to and you'd
play along with it.
You'd have to anticipate it and say, "He's an angry badger! Oh my god!" And I think that's all I remember from my gig years now. Angry badger! But that was crazy. That was absolutely crazy. Right. So in your college years, who were you?
I tell you what would be worth mentioning actually. The venue that stood out through the college years, the one venue, Steamboat.
Yeah, definitely Steamboat.
Steamboat was it was a really cool place because it was a functioning pub.
And we could go in underage.
And you could go in, if you were under 16, you had to be accompanied by an adult. If you were under 18,
Even then,
over
though.
16.
Even then, though.
Yeah.
That's trying to check that many kids, especially at Underline the Sky show or a Fate Untold show where there would be, 200 people there, mostly kids, or even more. Because their capacity was supposed to be 190 or something like this, and it was always over that.
I think they had a little thing where if you were under 18 or if you didn't have ID, you had a green stamp.
That was it.
That was a blue stamp if you were over 18.
Yeah.
So it made bar checks a little
So
bit
who
easier.
were your celebrities when you were growing up? But local celebrities,
Celebrities?
I can think of one huge one that you would definitely say.
Rosalita.
There we are.
Yeah. I remember absolutely digging. I mean, we've mentioned them so many times. And we will have to play some on the live show, I think, eventually. I'm sure I've got a couple of their CDs.
Yeah, good.
I've even got a couple of some of their vinyls.
No
still
way.
at West End Music.
Wow.
I might have to play some of that.
That's it. Well, yeah. Just don't ruin them. They're precious.
Oh yeah,
they're precious.
Thousands.
Yeah.
And actually,
To us.
since then, I've become quite good friends with Jay Goodrich.
Jay Goodrich, yeah.
Of Druids, and
And Ben Bloom.
And Ben Bloom, of course. That's what he's sort of gone on to do, and seems to be sort of doing all right with that, living in London nowadays. So that was a big sort of...
They were huge celebrities, right?
Another sort of kind of celebrity for me.
Well, because I had the same thing with Chris Andrew, because he used to be in a band called Jackknife Horsebox as well, which I gigged with them in Hadley, I believe. The White Hart, I think it was that. So that must have been about 2007, 2008, maybe. Probably even later than that, to be honest. It all blurs together, like you say.
Totally.
But again, I remember meeting him, and I think I said on the show a couple of weeks back about seeing them on the Town 102 stage, Ipswich Music Day. And it's the thing, it's the thing with local heroes. You'll meet them and you'll just be like, oh, they're a real person anyway. But you still have that hero thing in your brain.
Yeah, totally. It's quite interesting actually after seeing Rosalita play at Ipswich Music Day, on the interesting bomb scare day.
Oh, that was it, yeah.
Yeah,
it was a guitar, wasn't it?
Me and my best friend at the time, James Shenfield, who's the drummer of Tripwire.
Yep.
We went backstage to see the band because we wanted to meet the band.
Oh my god!
And bumped into John Randall.
Oh right, really?
And he was, John Randall is the king of just pure energy and slightly being inappropriate.
Right.
At any situation. But we went about you're really good. Love you, Rosalita, and he was like, yeah. He goes, here, have my sticks. Yeah. Now play them on my arse. Turn around and we played a drum roll on his bum.
That's great.
He didn't pull his trousers down. It was purely above the trousers,
but
I'm sure he'll be a little bit embarrassed for us to be sharing that one now.
Well, that's it. You get on stage and you've got some, you'll have some crazy energy that you've just got to get out of you, haven't you?
Yeah, totally. We're going to have a massive list of things we talked about at the bottom of this. This thing.
But sadly, a lot of them won't be around. You can't check them out anymore.
No, you can't go see them live, which you're really missing out on. Especially, let's say with Rosalita, there were some real big live shows and real big performances. And there were so many great performers, and we saw them start from being awkward on stage to being a real sort of front of stage character. One band that I really want to talk about, actually, at that same time, there was a guy we both went to college with, I think, or band we both went to college with, but Immercia.
Oh, wow, Immercia.
So I had
God.
Chris Broom in my year. Was there anyone in your year?
No.
But
Wait. No, because Chris was in your year,
Chris
wasn't
was my year,
Yeah.
But it was Chris and James Broom, Andrew Bass on vocals.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, I saw him for the first time ages ago after watching the Aaron Buchanan, the Cult Classics, because Tom McCarthy.
Yeah, I was going to put a big mention to Tom McCarthy, actually, because he got a little bit upset, bless him. Because we talked about the Black Swan gig and mentioned everyone in the band apart from him.
Oh, no.
So if
we don't really like him. No, I love you so much, Tom. I love you so much, but you're away right now. You're away from us on tour.
He's on tour with Aaron Buchanan and the Cult Classics.
Yeah.
Who are incredible band.
Yeah, jeez. Yeah.
Like, so good.
Just so great to watch on stage. I got to see them at the Smokehouse, and in such a small space, they can make such a big impact, make it seem just huge.
Yeah.
But they did download, so it's just...
And the music is kind of
huge.
classic as well.
Yeah.
It's not like a modern
It's got that really early Queen kind of sound to it, like, their really early albums before Bo Rap, Night at the Opera. Before that, I get that from them, and I can see Freddie Mercury as well as Matt Bellamy just channeling themselves through Aaron Buchanan. But huge band, Immercia. Like, we got to play with them with Trippin Violet on the same gig, and I believe I'm gonna have to remember their name. Crikey. Okay, I'm gonna have to remember. But again, they were local heroes.
Yeah.
And now I'm in a band with Tom McCarthy. I'm just kind of like, oh my god, local heroes in my band.
And it's great to be working with him as well at the Rock Project as well on Monday evenings. And I really love one thing I really love about Tom is he's paid for this slot, by the way.
Is it? We're promoting the Teachers of Rock Project as well.
He was moaning that we didn't mention him. I said, well, cough up and we'll give you a good shout.
Exactly.
But
give me a kiss.
He's a very, I don't want to say quiet, but he's very sort of chill,
reserved man
guy. That's but he steps on a stage with that guitar in his hand, and he has got the greatest rock stance. That's
it, and the face as well. But that was, I think what he's been described as to me as a monster on the guitar, is what people have said. But he's I don't know. That's the thing about music, is that you will become a different person on the stage.
Oh yeah,
it always will.
Character.
If you I don't, because you can never be the same character as you are on stage. Because how often do you walk down the street with a guitar in hand and singing at people?
That's it. It's
and hard. Even then, if you're doing that, you'd be a different person to who you are when you're talking. Your conversation can never be the same.
When you're on stage, you have to sing loudly. You have to project yourself to make yourself seem bigger than you actually are. Because a stage is a big place when you're a small character. So you have to be that big person, no matter how small or how quiet you are off stage. There are artists that do the quiet thing, and they can really make a room seem tiny. So you can hear a pin drop.
I had that with the singer from the band that I was in at college, Stratosfire. Who I haven't mentioned once. I have no idea why I haven't mentioned them once. But that was Ashley Paul, Murray Collins, who now still plays bass for me, or with me, should I say, and Ben Locke, my big brother, and Michael Adkins was the singer, and Mikey. I'm going to call him Mikey, and I've never called him Michael. Just because it's on Facebook, he's called Michael. Weirdos. He's Mikey.
Mike.
But he had that presence. He had that way of moving that was just him. And the way of singing that was just him. That again, off the stage, he would be a crazy, gangly character.
Yeah.
But on stage, he would still be that same body, but a completely different person.
That was one thing I always used to find before I played with Mohawk. The original bass player, the original gigging bass player,
right.
A guy called Dougal. I don't even know his name.
It's not McFluff.
It's not Dougal McFluff.
No.
But he would be sitting in the bar with an Earl Grey tea, with hair tied back and full moon glasses.
Great.
Be ever so quiet, Oh, right, let's go play. He wasn't that posh, he was quite...
Oh, governor, let's go play the bass, shall we?
Yeah, that's exactly how it sounded.
Great.
Anyway, so he put down his cup of tea, put his bass on lovely Warwick 5-string Corvette.
Ooh. Must have been heavy with the wheels.
Glasses go on top of the amp, take
Nice.
his hairband off, flicks it out, and just went mad. And you know, it was real atmosphere then. And it's quite weird to think that with Mohawk, how they were sort of actually a bit of a hero band of mine growing up. Seeing Spencer Horton absolutely tearing this guitar apart, you know.
No, he taught us both in college as well.
He did, yes, of course. And then sort of getting to be in a band with him for 6 years was really quite sort of inspiring that, you know, I could be that guy that I wanted to be, that I was looking up at every gig, you know.
Yeah.
So there we go. That's my lesson for you kids.
Yeah, don't look up to anybody because you'll just end up being in the band with them.
Yeah.
and then they'll
And that's
just...
how we ended up playing together.
Exactly, you poor thing. You only look up to me in height, and that's literally it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, height jokes again. Am I being mean to you again? No, I don't care if the mic clips. Sorry.
I don't know if I'm not going to cry.
Oh, I love you so much.
Well, that kind of is a bit of us. That's not even the whole story.
Oh my god, not even close. It's not even close. I'm sitting there thinking, oh my god, I haven't mentioned this person, I haven't mentioned that
No,
person.
now we've got 10 minutes to mention them all. Can we do it?
And we're going Ollie Huffman's Company. No, I can't do the period
like
of elements.
a Monty Python style piano song of
Yes,
just listing every
exactly.
single artist that we've ever worked
Always look on the softer side of sound.
with. Milton.
That's it. I think just being able to still see a lot of these people still playing. We did have some people die from that scene. I remember Colin Twelves, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, he died from Wild New Mexico. And it's just it's kind of strange to sort of feel like that we're still part of that same community, and I still see a lot of those people come to the gigs. And
it's quite interesting. You see people from that sort of scene, and I see people I haven't seen for years, and they greet you like they've seen you yesterday. There is that real
sometimes those people you're like, there's a reason we haven't seen each other for a long time. They're like, oh my god, I haven't seen you in ages, and you're like, yeah, go away. But you know, it's still that thing of it gives that wash of memory back to you, doesn't it?
Oh, totally.
Yeah. I get that. I still get that every time I see James Boucher, Curtis Cully, and Oscar Charlton gigging with Silk and Steel.
Silk and Steel, that was it.
At the in the Blue Room at McGinty's.
They were great.
Oh, I loved them. And at the time, I gigged with them because I was in a band with Kat Bothwell. Called Force.
Yes.
And
I saw her recently, actually.
Really? No way.
Yeah, she was doing a Thing for Musica that I was.
Thing for Musica.
Musica, which is a charity that sort of focuses on including, basically helping people who have struggle socialising or getting involved with stuff, but using music as a tool for that.
That's
kind
great.
of thing.
It's just like what we were saying earlier. Exactly. It's just it helps you to live through something else.
Totally.
Oh, it's great. Well, I'm glad to see she's still doing music-related things. I remember last time I heard, I think she was doing archery lessons in Centre Park. So
yes,
which is pretty badass.
Yeah. You don't want to get on the wrong side of it.
No, I'd be terrified if I saw a cat running at me with a bow and arrow. Jeez.
She wouldn't need to run. You just be like.
She's on you. Look back and she's there.
I just have a thought. You're like, sending her a text saying, I don't really like you very much. Just sitting at like Costa with your coffee, and as soon as you send it, you just that arrow goes through your coffee.
Through your coffee cup. Oh God, that's terrifying.
I take it all back.
I still love you.
And you just get a text saying too late, and you just see it coming towards you, and then through that door.
Yeah,
right at the end of the tunnel,
strides through with a drum set, playing double kick pedal.
Like an absolute boss.
Like an AK-47, she was.
She was indeed.
She was an AK-57.
Jesus.
I don't think that's a thing.
She made it a thing.
Call it the Katnikov. No.
Oh.
There we go.
I
never called her that at the time. I should have.
I think what I'd like to sort of say that this brings forward, when we talk about all these people that have come into our lives and left our lives and gone on their own ways. I mean, you got musicians who are still doing it, like you and I. Matt Hurrell's just been doing has been doing a residency.
He's all over the world, isn't he?
He's been in Bora Bora.
Yeah, he's done some stuff in Dubai as well. Going
all over the world. And I think he comes back next week, which is great. So I'm hoping I can catch up with him when he gets back. I say you got bands Courtney, who's
Yeah.
sort of doing his thing. I don't know if he's stateside at the moment. I know he came to
Well,
UK
one
for a bit.
huge name still doing it from when we were in college and was on the gigging circuit, and I got to gig with, not on stage with, but in the same lineups.
Yeah.
So I performed before him at the Royal Oak, at the Spa Pavilion, and the Railway, and the Steamboat. It was Ed Sheeran.
Who?
No idea.
Does he,
Right, and that's the thing. Like, you know, it's seeing that it's like a huge reminder of your childhood when every time I see him
Yeah.
on TV or whatever, and it's you know, again, it reminds me of all the people that used to hang out with and listen to him.
Quite interesting actually, because I always, especially working in a music shop, everybody has an opinion of him. A lot of people go, oh, you know, we'll diss him, and you know,
Because it's trendy too.
it's kind of because I don't know if that's a thing in Suffolk or just because.
No, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. He gets so much hate on Twitter. I remember him. I think he's off Twitter now.
Yeah.
Because of the amount of hate he was getting. But that's just any celebrity, isn't it? It's any celebrity at all.
Yes, yeah.
Apart from Meryl Streep, she is a delight. Sorry.
Okay. But I do feel that there are a lot of people in Suffolk who think, well, he's kind of started in the same place as I am, and now he's performing.
He's done better
to
than me.
Stevie Wonder with Beyonce.
Oh wow!
And
With Gary Clark Jr. on stage, don't forget that, and he is my guy.
He's
If I could perform on
incredible.
stage with Gary Clark Jr., I would swap places with Ed Sheeran any day.
Oh yeah, I'd
Yeah.
dye my hair ginger. Well,
All of your
actually,
hair.
No, I don't think I'd go that far.
Oh my goodness.
No, there's limits.
But do you? So let's wrap this up here. Do you think that experiences like ours are still happening to people of the same age as we were?
I think they are less, but I think the potential is there. As long as people know that they can be there. Creating a scene's not easy, but it can be done.
This is why I love the Rock Project. It's
Yes.
because that I see kids getting together and playing music. It'll be covers, or they'll just write a song. It may be the worst song ever until they write another one that's better and another one that's better, and they're performing in front of people that aren't their parents, and it just happens, and that's where
the
it's done.
first level,
Yeah.
isn't it? The first gig to people who aren't your friends or parents is the step when you go, right, this is what I'm doing.
So I don't know, if you listen to this and you've got kids, and you want them to be in bands, do something like this. Do something like Rock Project.
Make it happen.
Yeah, do something like, I don't know, just make them stay after school with their guitar. If they're a bedroom guitarist and they don't like talking to people, they don't like playing to people. I've known so many people like that
Yeah.
now play in front of thousands of people.
Yeah.
And it's because we just had that community thing of people playing together, and that's why I love doing what I do, is because seeing people smile from when you pick a string.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's
It depends what string though. They never smile when I play the B string.
that's a shame.
I don't know why. Maybe it just doesn't belong.
Oh.
And on that note,
Oh.
this has been the Harley and Josh show. We love you very much.
We do. Thank you very much. Of course, make sure to listen to us, any of our previous episodes. They're probably not as talky as this one because we have filled 57 minutes of us just talking. Hopefully
cut it
we'll
out.
cut it down.
Yeah,
we'll
I'll cut it down.
Please do. Just cut most of my bits out. But yeah, you can find us on Podbean. Wait, what is it?
The Podbean.
The Podbean. You can find us on iTunes.
Yes, on iTunes as well.
Just search the Harley and Josh Show.
You can find us on Facebook.
find
It's
us
the
on
Harley and
Facebook.
Josh show, and also on YouTube. We have all of our episodes will be going up in full, apart from all the music that gets involved.
Yep.
It will mostly be on, well, I would say apart from this episode maybe,
Yeah.
will be in ioradio.co.uk.
Yes. So if you want to hear the music that we talk about played, the stuff that not everybody gets to hear, make sure you go to ioradio.co.uk and tune in from 2 till 3.
Thank you guys for listening. We will see you when we're back from the world.
Yes. I feel this has been quite emotional, hasn't it?
I know.
It's quite sentimental. I love you.
I love you too, man. Hold my hand.
It's the Harley and Josh show on iRadio.